Picture this. An animal gets bitten by a snake venomous enough to drop a horse, shakes it off like it's a mosquito bite, then turns around and eats the snake. That's not a Marvel movie pitch. That's a Tuesday for the honey badger. Meet the ratel, officially the most fearless animal on the planet, according to Guinness World Records. Yes, there's an actual certificate for most fearless, and a creature roughly the size of a dachshund that's been wearing a perpetual middle finger expression won it. Lions could not win this award. Elephants could not win this award. A 25-pound furball with anger issues won this award. And honestly, nobody is surprised. Let's start with the body, because the honey badger looks like it was designed by someone who got bored halfway through. Short legs, stocky build, a face that always looks mildly annoyed, like it just remembered it left the stove on. It's got a grayish-white cape running down its back, like nature gave it a tiny superhero costume. Except instead of saving people, this superhero's main power is, I will fight you, and I will probably win. And that's the wild part. This thing should not be winning fights. It's small. It's not particularly fast. It doesn't have venom of its own. By every normal rule of the animal kingdom, the honey badger should be a snack, not a threat. Lions outweigh it by literally hundreds of pounds. Leopards have killing bites that snap necks instantly. Hyenas hunt in packs specifically built to overwhelm prey. On paper, the honey badger should last about 4 seconds in any of these matchups. Except nobody told the honey badger about the paper. Because here's the thing that makes this animal an absolute legend. Its skin. The honey badger has loose, thick, rubbery skin, almost like it's wearing a slightly oversized hoodie made of leather. Scientists have actually studied its skin structure because military researchers wanted to design better body armor, which is a wild sentence to type about an animal that also rolls in bee stings for fun. When a predator grabs it, bites down, thinks, got it, dinner secured, the honey badger just twists around inside its own skin like it's escaping a straitjacket and bites the attacker right back in the face. Imagine getting grabbed by someone way bigger than you, and instead of panicking, you just casually rotate 180 degrees inside your own jacket and punch them in the nose. That's the honey badger's entire combat strategy, and it works terrifyingly often. There are documented cases, actual filmed footage, of honey badgers getting attacked by lions, getting picked up, getting thrown around like a chew toy, and still surviving and walking away, not eventually recovering in a hospital walking away. Immediately, on the spot. That's it? That's all you got? Walking away? Lions, the so-called kings of the jungle, have reportedly given up mid-attack because the honey badger simply refused to stop fighting back. There's something deeply funny and deeply terrifying about an apex predator looking at a creature 1/10 its size and going, you know what? Never mind. Now let's talk about venom, because this is where the honey badger fully leaves the chat of normal animal behavior. It regularly hunts and eats venomous snakes. Not avoids them, not nervously circles them, hunts them. Puff adders, cobras, you name it. The honey badger treats venomous snakes the way most of us treat a bag of chips, just casually snacking through danger. It has a natural resistance to a lot of snake venom, which means it can get bitten multiple times during a fight and just keep going. There's footage of a honey badger getting bitten by a puff adder, literally collapsing, appearing to be dead, lying there motionless for a while, and then just getting back up like it took a nap and continuing to eat the snake that bit it. The snake's whole evolutionary defense mechanism evolved over millions of years to scare off predators, and the honey badger's response is essentially, thanks for the nap, now where was I? It's not just snakes either. Honey badgers eat scorpions, and not carefully. They'll get stung repeatedly during the process, and just power through it like the sting is a minor inconvenience, similar to stubbing your toe. They eat bees too. And here's the best part. They raid actual beehives for honey and larvae, getting stung dozens, sometimes hundreds of times by furious bees defending their home. And the honey badger's reaction is basically, this is annoying, but the honey is worth it. Bees have a sting specifically evolved to be one of the most effective defense mechanisms in nature, and the honey badger looks at that defense mechanism the way you'd look at someone gently flicking your arm. Mildly irritating, not even close to a deterrent. And it's not picky either. This is an animal with one of the most chaotic diets in the natural world. Snakes, scorpions, insects, rodents, birds, eggs, fruit, roots, small reptiles, even baby crocodiles have ended up on the menu. There are reports of honey badgers digging up buried human remains in certain regions, which sounds horrifying until you realize this is an animal that will eat literally anything that stops moving, and sometimes things that are still moving and actively trying to kill it. It doesn't really have a food chain position. It just sort of exists outside the food chain, looking down at everyone else's rules like they're optional. It also has surprisingly strong claws built for digging, which means if things go badly, it can just vanish into the ground in seconds, like nature's tiniest escape artist. Then there's the smell. As if biting through snake fangs and shrugging off bee stings wasn't enough chaos energy, the honey badger also has musk glands that release an absolutely foul odor when it's threatened, similar to a skunk but somehow worse. It's been described as smelling strong enough to drive off bees from a hive so it can raid it in peace, basically using biological warfare as a side dish to its physical warfare. This is an animal that walks into a fight with claws, teeth, venom resistance, bulletproof skin, and a chemical weapon, like it's preparing for several different kinds of battles at once, just in case one method doesn't work. The behavior gets even funnier when you look at how honey badgers interact with bigger predators in general. There's footage and documented sightings of honey badgers chasing off jackals, harassing leopards, and basically strutting through territory like they own it, regardless of who else happens to be standing there. It's not that the honey badger is necessarily winning every single encounter. It's that it acts like it's already won before the fight even starts, and that confidence alone is enough to make most predators reconsider their life choices. Confrontation seems to be the honey badger's default personality setting, somewhere between mildly inconvenienced and ready to throw down, at all times, regardless of context. This whole reputation eventually exploded online thanks to a now legendary viral video from years back, narrated with the now famous catchphrase, "Honey badger don't care," which perfectly captures the entire vibe of this animal. It doesn't care about venom. It doesn't care about size differences. It doesn't care about social hierarchies in the animal kingdom. It does not care, period. And somehow that complete lack of caring is exactly why it survives situations that would end almost any other creature its size. So next time someone tells you size matters, or that you need superpowers to be terrifying, just remember, there's a creature out there smaller than most dogs, immune-ish to venom, wrapped in loose, rubbery armor skin, smelling like biological chemical warfare, currently somewhere in Africa or Asia, casually picking a fight with something 50 times its size, and probably winning. The honey badger isn't just an animal. It's a walking, biting, stinking reminder that confidence, stubbornness, and an absolute refusal to back down can apparently overpower evolution itself.